So, hello and welcome to another video. Yes, I'm back at Bluebell's and it feels really good to be back here. I must admit, driving down that track and coming past, seeing the sign for Bluebell, it was a good feeling this morning. Anyway, I'm not on Swan, my usual haunt. It's not time for that yet. I've actually come and got myself situated on Mallard. Now over the past few weeks, Mallard's been doing quite a few fish. It's been fishing really well, especially after them storms, in particular Storm Dennis. It really did throw up a good few fish. News around the lake at the moment though, totally changed at the minute. In fact, the past couple of days it's been fishing really tricky. We're on Wednesday now, and since Saturday, Saturday and Sunday it fished really well. They had a good wind on, and there was one guy in particular that had 9 or 10 fish from what one of the lads had told me. But since then, the lad that I was speaking to, he's been here since Sunday when the weather changed, so to speak, and everybody's been struggling. There's been 3 fish out since then that he knows of. And where I'm situated at the minute, it's the only person that was fishing round on this side of the lake. He had 2 fish, and then next to the bailiff swim on the opposite side of the lake, he had a fish this morning. So you know, it's not great, but they did have crap weather conditions. The pressure come up, and there was no wind at all. I mean, when I arrived this morning, it was like a sheet of glass out there. You could hear a pinprick drop, but there is a nice steady trickle of wind coming through now. It's not very strong and it's not forecast for strong, but the pressure's come down. We're hovering just above 1,000 at the moment, and tomorrow it slightly improves. We've got a bit more wind coming on tomorrow, 22 mile an hour, and the temperature is remaining sort of around the same, apart from Thursday night. That's going to drop into 0 at night time. Tonight we're dropping into sort of 4s and 5s, so it's going to be cold and it's going to be uncomfortable for me. I mean, I don't know if you can see behind me, but this is actually my swim. The whole place is flooded at the moment, and in particular this back area of the lake. That's why there's nobody around here. When I walked around, I couldn't believe the extent of the damage. I mean, I will get round to showing you that at some point, but I'm quite eager to get them rods out there at the moment. So as it stands, I've got the house up, I've situated the sticks and that ready. I've got a bit to do. I need to have a bit of a lead and a feel out there, see what I've got out in front of me, and then we can start thinking about rigs. But one thing's for sure, I mean, round here you can fish a lot shorter. On that far bank over there, the sort of known area to fish to is 30 wraps. It's a good old chuck that, but round this side, you can catch them quite close in. I mean, don't get me wrong, different times of year you can catch them anywhere in this lake. It really is a bit of everything, this lake. It's a very, very weedy lake usually. Yes, and there is quite a lot of weed out there even this time of year, so we do need to have a good lead about. But one thing's for sure, that guy had a couple of fish out of this swim, even though it's fishing tricky, and the conditions are looking slightly better for me, so I'm feeling positive about that. And not only that, I am quite familiar with this area. I mean, I've only done a couple of sessions on here in the past, and I might add as well, I didn't do very well, but I have got a good understanding of this lake, and like to think I can put a couple of fish on the mat this session, so fingers crossed. But one thing's for sure, the approach I would like to take is solid bags. Huge confidence in them, obviously, especially this time of year. I mean, today it feels lovely, it feels like spring's in the air, but it is a really good tactic that, especially on waters like this with a heavy stock of fish. I always prefer to fish over a light bed of bait anyway. So when you put that solid bag out there, the fish really tend to home in on that. But we'll have to see. If I have to go distance, to find a good spot out there, then we're going to have to use a clip system or a helicopter system, but we'll touch on that in more detail. But for now, let's get them rods out there. Well, I'm gonna have to be quick because he's absolutely chucking it down, and I have to apologise that I haven't spoken to you yet, but as you can see I've been holding off for the weather, but the rods have been out there for a couple of hours now and we've already got one. He's not a big fish, but I'm going to show him you anyway because I'm not sure how the session's gonna go. And here he is, look, he's not a big fish at all. Probably about £5 or £6, but we're off the mark and there's fish in the area. I'll touch on everything what I've done in a bit, but for now let's get this one back and see if we can get something else. Well, I do apologise, but it's absolute carnage here at the minute. I returned that fish, got the rod back out there, and darkness was setting in quite quickly. And then as I was spodding, the other rod ripped off. So I still haven't had a chance to speak to you, but we're catching. And they're going the right way. It's getting a bit bigger, this one. Another scaly looking mirror. Yeah, so I weighed this one. I'm really glad I did as well because he's quite deceiving. He's a real short, fat little thing. He's just gone £18.10 and he's full of beans. And he give a good account of himself as well. And there he is, look. Oh, little minter. Don't mind if I do. Yeah. Not bad at all. I'll spin him round quickly and show you the other side. Oh, and there we go, look. Absolute little cracker he is. Really nice scale pattern. Anyway, I'm going to slip him back because I'm in a bit of a mess. I've got more solid bags to tie up now, and I need to carry on getting a bit more bait out there, so I'm set for tonight. And then as soon as I've got all that sorted, we'll have a bit of a catch up and I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. Well, good evening. Darkness is well and truly set upon us now, but that was a mad little flurry of action, that was. It certainly kept me busy. Just before that, you know, I was on the phone to my mate Nick and I was saying to him it looks absolutely prime for it. Not long after speaking to you, after I'd got the rods out, put a bit of bait in, I seen a couple of fish show, and I just thought to myself it looks cock on for it. And then no sooner as I've been on the phone to Nick, the rod was away. So hopefully, fingers crossed, there's more to come. We can only try our best. Now, it didn't take me long really to get the rod sorted. I had a couple of solid bags already tied up, ready to go. And what I actually found out there, I was quite surprised. It was quite clear. I found some gravel at around about 80 yards, and then I went a bit beyond it, and it's just a nice smooth pull across. I can only imagine that it's sand. It actually feels like silt when you're pulling it through, but I'd imagine it's sand that I'm actually fishing over. I've come off of the gravel area on purpose really, because I'd expect that most people look for that in here. And because I'm not fishing at a mega distance, it allows me to use the solid bags. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm not a mega caster, but 88 yards with a solid bag is absolutely perfect for me. It's really comfortable fishing. So I've got my usual bag mix out there. I've got super confidence in it. I've got the 2mm isolate pellets in there. I've also got a fast breakdown pellet, and it's heavily glugged in beta stim liquid, and I've also got some ground up LM94. Now, hook bait's a choice. At the moment they're all out on pineapple and banana, but before I turn in for the night I'll be putting out a pink as well. I wish I'd have brought some orange baits with me, but unfortunately I haven't, because from what people have told me, orange does quite well in here. But yellow does really well as well, so you know, I'll just keep ringing the changes to see if I can keep them bites coming. So my spod mix for this session, I've got in my bucket, I've got a couple of kg of pigeon conditioner, I've got a couple of kg of LM94 boilies. They've been put through the Ridge Monkey grinder, so there's all sorts of different shapes and sizes in there. And then I've got a couple of kilos of sweet corn, and then I've just finished it off with some 10mm LM94 as well, just a kilo of them. Trying to keep everything nice and small, and then I finished that off with a full bottle of LN94 food syrup. Give it a good old mix up, and I did also add some hot water to that before I come. I mixed it up at home before I got here, so you know, everything's had time to infuse into it, and not only that, it's had time to soften them little 10mm up as well. So yeah, I like to keep the mix nice and small really. It's not about filling the fish up for me, you know, it's just about, you know, having a bit of attraction out there and something to keep them grubbing around but not filling them up. And the plan is just to feed to the bites. I'm not going to go mad. Obviously if I get more bites then I'll start introducing a bit more. But as it stands at the moment, after them couple of fish, I topped up with another 4 spons, and within the last sort of 10-15 minutes I've had a couple of liners, so it looks like there's a couple of fish moved back in, so fingers crossed on that one. Now there's probably a few people watching this that are not familiar with Mallard, and let me tell you, it is an absolutely awesome lake this. I'll tell you what makes it really special for me is the fact that when that rod goes you just don't know what it is. You could have anything left from like a 2-3 pounder right up to probably a 50 pounder now. There's a common out there swimming about, a big one called Tilly, and it was last out last year at 49 pound and ounces. I can't remember the ounces, but I've got a really strong feeling that that'll be a 50 pounder now. And I mean, to back that up, there's at least 740s that I know of. There's probably a few more now because they're coming through all the time. I mean, if I ever catch up with Trev, if I see him, I'll ask him and he'll be able to tell me how many new 40s there is. And there's a really good head of 30s in here now, so you know, it makes for some quite exciting fishing, just not knowing what's going to come next. So I'm going to leave it there, and hopefully you shall be seeing me very soon with a fish, but if not, I'll be seeing you in the morning, and then we can have a proper catch up tomorrow. I've still got a little bit of organising to do, so I'm fully set for tonight. In particular, I haven't eaten yet, you know, I've just been that busy since getting here. I mean, having the walk round, speaking to everybody, you know, it really takes it out here, and before you know it, you've been walking around for 2-3 hours. I mean, I didn't actually get the rods out till around about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so you know, everything's been a little bit rushed. But at least my bag work's all prepped up and we are all set on that side of things. So yes, I'm going to stop waffling on and I'll be seeing you very soon.
I choose to think positively, no matter what's going on around me. I have a great life and will continue to have a great life. Every breath that I inhale, I feel confident.
Well, I was just about to say good morning, but I've just checked the time and we've just gone past dinner time. And it's pretty hard going at the moment. I mean, I was sitting here really expectant last night after speaking to you, but nothing else materialised. I did have a couple of liners, like I mentioned, but to be honest, I think I was fishing a bit too far out. It seemed like the fish that I'd seen was a little bit closer in. I'm not really sure what's going on out there. It's looking prime for a bite, but nobody's catching. Trev's not long been round. He's the bailiff on here. And like I say, he's been round and nobody on that side has had a fish today. Unbelievable. And there's some good anglers round there. Jamie Clossack's over there, Roger Bacon. I mean, Roger Bacon, he's a massive chucker, he is. He's fishing at 35 wraps. He's fishing, you know, like untapped water, so to speak. But no, I'm really surprised he hasn't had a fish. He's a really, really good angler, him. But anyway, I mean, where I was fishing out at 22 wraps. I say where I was fishing because I've just changed everything now. I've dropped back. I was fishing in the deep gully, so to speak, in the deep water. I was fishing in 19 foot of water, but I've actually dropped back to 18 wraps, and that's where it starts to drop off. Well, it's just at the bottom of the drop off, so to speak. That was a bit of a tip off from Trev, so if we get anything from here on in, you know, I owe them to Trev. He's put me on a spot. It's aiming at the two silver birch trees, which are just to the right of his swim on the opposite side. Yeah, he's told me that's the known spot for this swim. So, you know, with nothing happening, it's not going to hurt to change things, and I've just made the change now, so everything's sitting pretty. But, I mean, I had a spanner chucked in the works this morning because I got up and I seen some fizzing just off the reeds to the left. I didn't actually see a fish show there, but I was stood out by the rods and I seen one swim right past me. It was that close to me, I could have touched it. But you know, it's like when you see one, you just sort of freeze and stand still. I didn't dare move, I just casually watched it swim by. I thought to myself, I've got to put a rod on that. So I put a rod on the fizzing, where I seen the fizzing anyway. Put a rod on that, just scattered a little bit of bait round it. And like I say, I left that for around about 3 hours. So I've just made the change, put all three on the same spot now, on the spot that Trev's put me on. Topped up with a little bit of bait. When I say a little bit, I'm talking 7 spoms, and I'm actually using the dot spod at the minute, so it's like medium size. You can't get a lot in there. And fingers crossed we can make something happen. But like I say, there has been a change in weather. It's overcast. It's been overcast all day. We're meant to get a bit more rain later. The only thing that's changed that's not really to my benefit is the wind. Yesterday it was coming in towards me, and we've got a northeasterly blowing at the minute, so it's coming over the back of me. So I'm not sure how that's going to pan out, but I've only seen a couple of fish show today. So we'll just have to keep everything crossed. I'm really sorry I hadn't had a bit of an update sooner, but you know, my emotions are a bit all over the place still at the moment. You know, I'm still getting over the death of my mum. Things are a bit raw and I haven't really felt like speaking to the camera. So, you know, I'll do my very best. You know, I'm here. The main thing is, you know, it's took my mind off of it being here. That's the one good thing with fishing. It's always there for me, and it's always been my coping mechanism. When it's good or bad, you know, this is where I'm at my happiest, so to speak. So anyway, I'm going to cut it short because the battery light's flashing at me. And we'll have a bit of a catch up later on. Hopefully the next time you see me it'll be with a fish. Well, I was sitting there beginning to question whether or not we was going to get another fish, but then out the blue it's rattled off, and it's pretty much the same time as yesterday, so I'm feeling really positive. Hopefully we can get another. But anyway, more to this one. It's just gone £18.2. Gave a really good account of himself as well. At one point he flat rodded me. If I'd have lost it, I'd have definitely swore blind it was a bigger fish. Tell you what, check him out. He is absolutely beautiful. Really nice scaly fish, that. Little minter. Oh. And there's the other side, look. He really is a little minter. Just as nice on both sides. Taking on the pineapple and banana. Seems to be doing all the bites, that one, but I'm still going to persevere with a pink, you never know. Fingers crossed for another bite. The night's still young, so I'm going to slip this little beauty back. If nothing else happens through the night, I'll leave it until the morning, 'cause it's pretty cold, let me tell you. I'm ready for getting in my bag. Well, good morning, and what a beautiful morning it is as well. It really does feel like spring this morning, and it's very, very welcome. I mean, I was up at first light and it was absolutely Baltic this morning, especially getting into your waders. My feet have only just started to feel like they're getting a bit warm. We're just gone 10 o'clock and unfortunately no more fish to report. I kind of expected it really, the way it's been fishing, but at least we managed to nick another, and you know, a bit of a similarity in the night before. It was around about the same time as I had the other bites. So yes, bite time is very, very short window at the moment. So yes, I've been up watching the water this morning. In particular, I wanted to keep an eye on the margins where I seen the fizzing yesterday morning, but I've just not seen anything this morning. I did see one fish show out in the main bowl of water, but other than that, no fish activity at all. It really is a different day today. I mean, it's changed around the lake as well. It's a lot busier than it was. I mean, I don't think there's any spare swims at all on that road bank now, and there is people to the right of me as well. It is Friday morning now though, so yes, I'm really not expecting anything else to happen. I mean, I didn't bother rebaiting this morning. I just felt like it was the wrong thing to do. Not only that, there's a lot of people pumping baiting around the lake, but what I did do is I redid all the rods, fresh solid bags, just bang straight out onto the spot, and they all went out nice as well, but nothing has materialised from it. So I do have to apologise, you know, for the gap between the videos, but that's out of my control, I'm afraid. You know, I'm sure you all understand. Emotionally, I'm still a bit all over the place. And my next video that's coming out after this one will also have a bit of a delay in it as well. Because as it stands, I'm still waiting back for the post-mortem for my mum, so the funeral, the date for the funeral is still in limbo at the moment. But one thing's for sure, I have got the venue planned for my next outing, and quite an exciting prospect for anybody looking for a new syndicate water as well. I mean, the lake that I'm going to fish is actually a good friend of mine called Tony Humphrey, and he's opening up 2 syndicate waters, part of the same ticket. And we've got first dibs on them. It's due to open up in April, so we're going to go down there, see if we can winkle something out for the cameras. But my idea being behind it is I'd like to get a nice piece together for Tony, you know, so it sort of shows his lakes off. And not only that, some of the cracking fish that he's got in there. He's got some beautiful scaled moors in there, you know, hand picked, some lovely commons to back them up, and also he's got some originals in there. There's a few surprises that he doesn't know about. Like I say, there's a couple of people that's had a test fish on there, but that's mainly just to see what the fish growth has done since he stocked it. So yes, that'll be the venue I'm heading to next, and we'll touch on that in a bit more detail once we get there. I'll give you all the information about that. And then after that, I'm not too sure where I'm going to be going, but I have got something else in the pipeline which I'm quite excited about. Something which I've not done before. I'm fishing in the Elite Carp Masters this year, and that's in towards the end of April. So I'm really looking forward to that. And not only that, I'm really interested in the venue, going down to Cottingham Lakes. Well, to be honest, I'd not really even thought about fishing any sort of carp match. My match days are long gone. I used to fish a lot of open matches back in me pleasure fishing days, so to speak. But since I switched over to carp angling, I've not fished a match since. So I'm quite looking forward to the prospect. I mean, it come about because my friend Owen Styles got in contact with me on Facebook. His usual partner, what he fishes it with, had dropped out, and he says, do you fancy it? So I thought, what the hell, why not, let's give it a bash. And Owen's got good form on there as well. He's won it quite a few times, you know, and he's always been up there in the top 3. So I'm really looking forward to the prospect. So that just about covers what I've got planned for the next few sessions, and I'm going to start wrapping this session up now. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'm very sorry if it's a little bit out of context, you know, getting the old cinematic footage and that, but my mind has been all over, and I don't want to keep banging on about it. But again, I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and I shall be seeing you on the next one.